Greetings, Space Fleet commanders of your own lives. Tell me, do you ever feel like your mind is just flying completely on autopilot? Like you're hurtling through the dark, unpredictable chaos of emotional space, literally crashing into reality's asteroids? You know the feeling. 1 minute we're cruising along, totally fine, and the next, bam, a rogue wave of anger or anxiety hits, and your ship is just spinning out of control.
Well, welcome aboard, Cadet, to today's Explainer. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating work of Thomas Aletheia from his comprehensive guide, 12 Steps to a Good Life. We're going to unpack what is essentially the ultimate space-age technology for emotional regulation. He calls it RaDaR. It's this beautifully simple, incredibly powerful framework designed to bring actual awareness and purpose to our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Basically, it's time to upgrade your ship's navigation system.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our flight path for today's briefing. We'll start with 1, autopilot chaos, move into 2, the RaDaR system, and then break down its 3 core components. 3, reflect, 4, describe, and 5, respond. Finally, we'll wrap up with 6, daily flight operations. So, starting us off with Section 1, the chaos of autopilot, crashing into reality. Let's just validate something right off the bat here. Inner chaos? It's a completely universal experience. Aletheia notes that this tension between our emotional and rational minds actually stems from our deep evolutionary wiring. You know, it's so incredibly easy to just let the ship fly on autopilot, totally driven by unexamined thoughts, old fears, and deep-seated resentments. We react blindly, and when we do that, well, we crash into reality. But as Aletheia highlights in his text using this absolutely brilliant quote from Hermann Hesse, chaos demands to be recognized and experienced before letting itself be converted into a new order. What this really tells us is that our emotions, even the totally chaotic, terrifying ones, they aren't inherently bad. Fear isn't a weakness. It's just data. It's information. But we really need a structured, reliable tool to convert that raw, unrefined chaos into a safe and deliberate trajectory. And that brings us to Section 2, the RaDaR system, taking manual control. This system right here is the ultimate solution to the chaos. It's exactly how you stop crashing into reality and actually start participating in it. So RaDaR is an acronym standing for 3 very deliberate steps: reflect, describe, and respond. Think of it as an elegantly simple, real-time circuit breaker for your mind. It's not about controlling your emotions or turning you into some unfeeling robot. No. It's about creating that vital, life-saving space between what you feel and what you actually do. Let's move to see how this builds, starting with Section 3, reflect, pausing the ship. Diving right into this first step, to reflect simply means to deliberately pause the ship. You have to pay really close attention to what's happening, both around you and inside of you. It's literally just hitting the brakes so you can take a good hard look at your control panel without completely panicking. You're actively asking yourself, okay, what specific event just happened? What thoughts are racing through my head right now? How is my physical body feeling in response? You are taking a crucial step back from reactive emotion just to observe the raw data. So here's the absolute how-to for reflecting. First, you pause and observe. You notice your physical sensations. Are your shoulders totally tense? Is your heart racing? Now, the absolutely crucial key here is that you do not try to fix your thoughts, and you absolutely must avoid self-judgment. Like if you're terrified before a big presentation at work, don't sit there thinking, oh, I shouldn't feel this way, I'm being so weak. You already feel that way. Acknowledge it. As Aletheia points out, this step is what helps you catch the full picture, not just the immediate trigger. Because, let's face it, you simply cannot change a trajectory that you are unwilling to actually face. Now for the next step, Section 4, describe reading the instruments. All right, so once we've paused and gathered all that raw data, we have to translate it into something we can actually use. And this brilliantly illustrates the crucial difference between panicking in the cockpit and neutrally reading your instrument panel. Instead of totally identifying with the emotion and telling yourself, I am a failure, you describe the thought neutrally. I am thinking that I failed. See the difference? Instead of attacking yourself with, I am lazy, you clearly state, I am avoiding this task because I feel overwhelmed. You aren't explaining, you aren't defending, and you definitely aren't justifying. You are deliberately detaching your core identity from a temporary emotion. You're just gathering the facts. Aletheia emphasizes a truly powerful psychological truth here. When you name something, you contain it. You literally shrink the chaos down to something you can hold in your hands. By actively using plain, specific, and direct language, you actually put distance between you, the pilot, and the emotion itself. You're stepping out of the floodwaters and getting your boots firmly back on solid ground. Moving right along to Section 5, Respond, Plotting a New Course. Now that we've accurately read the data, we are finally ready to plot a new course. And guys, there's a monumental difference between a reaction and a response. An autopilot reaction that's driven by impulse, fear, or pain. It's defensive, it's automatic, and honestly, it usually results in crashing blindly. But a manual response, that requires consulting your values. Alethea notes that a true response is aligned with your deeper self and the will of a higher power. It means asking yourself not what you feel like doing in the heat of the moment, but what you know is right, good, and productive for the long term. It's pulling the lever with pure intention. So what does a skillful response actually look like in practice? Well, it doesn't have to be some grand, dramatic maneuver. It could mean actively reframing your mindset to view a stressful situation as a learning opportunity rather than a harsh judgment. Or it could be breaking a massive, overwhelming task down into tiny 10-minute chunks to finally beat that procrastination. It could mean calmly addressing an issue directly or setting a really firm, clear boundary in a relationship just to protect your own peace. And you know what? Sometimes the absolute best maneuver you can possibly make is just taking a deep breath, holding steady, and choosing to say absolutely nothing at all until the storm passes. And finally, Section 6, Daily Flight Operations, RaDaR in Action. Let's bring this space-age concept back down to Earth for a second. RaDaR is a highly flexible tool for your everyday life. Alethea closely ties it to step 10 of his 12 steps, which is doing a daily personal inventory. So at the end of your day, you can reflect on your actions, describe what you observe without any of that heavy self-criticism, and respond by committing to purposeful change or making amends if needed. But you can also use it in real time, right in the heat of the moment, to stop a negative thought spiral dead in its tracks, or to overcome the anxiety of avoiding a daunting task, or just to take a quick pause right before you snap at a partner during a heated conflict. So the crucial point is perfectly summarized by Thomas Alethea right here. You cannot control which emotions arise, but you can control how you respond. We are absolutely not trying to become emotionless robots who never feel fear, anger, or sadness. There's no way. Those emotions, they're just standard alerts on your dashboard. The real goal here is to become mindful, capable pilots who feel those emotions, acknowledge them, and then make conscious, value-driven choices about exactly where to steer the ship next. Which leaves us with one final very important question for you. Think about your life right now. What asteroid are you facing today? Is it a difficult conversation, a super stressful project, a huge wave of anxiety? Whatever it is, I challenge you to grab the manual controls. Take a deep breath, reflect on what's happening, describe it neutrally, and then respond with intention. Your navigation system is fully online, cadet. Now it's time to fly the ship.